North Korean state media condemned the U.S. and South Korea planned annual war games, saying they will further drive the situation on the Korean peninsula into a catastrophe.
The report warns America that if it continues to provoke Pyongyang, Kim will make an important decision. It also says the army should always be ready should he call them into action. US and South Korean officials have been playing down the risk of imminent conflict, but stress they're ready to respond to any attack from the north.
Based on the projected capacity that North Korea possesses today, we can protect the peninsula, the Koreans here in the peninsula, the Americans here in the peninsula. We can protect Guam, we can protect Hawaii, we can protect the continental United States.
United States and South Korea prepare to kick off one of the largest annual military drill amid tension in the Korean peninsula. The Ulti-Freedom Guardian War Games are computerized command and control exercises which take place every other year. A staggering 80,000 troops will be involved in the military drills, along with hundreds of thousands of first responders and civilians. China's Global Times newspaper carried an angry editorial over the United States and South Korea games, which will go ahead from Monday. The newspaper said, the drill will definitely provoke Pyongyang more, and Pyongyang is expected to make a more radical response. North Korea earlier said that Kim decided to halt the missile launch toward Guam. Wait to see the American next move.
Long before the sun peaked the horizon last Monday morning, more than 250 Dias Airmen returned from their 6-month deployment to Andersen Air Force Base, Guam. These airmen, assigned to the 7th Bomb Wing, left in early February to support North Korean deterrence efforts, as well as test and challenge the Sustainment Block 16 software upgrade for the first time in a deployed location. Multiple months of training before their departure helped reinforce their ability to accomplish the mission. B-1B air crews flew more than 260 sorties over a collective 1,100 flight hours and provided evidence of just how capable the B-1's long-range strike capabilities truly are. The conducted missions ranged from Guam to the East and South China Seas, Australia, and the Korean Peninsula. During their time abroad, these airmen worked around the clock, ensuring 100% of the U.S. Pacific Command's directed missions were accomplished. A job well done. Now, with members of Ellsworth's 28th Bomb Wing relieving the 9th's presence in Guam, Dias Airmen made their weary travel back to their friends, family, and loved ones for, well, more than a few hugs and smiles. And for all their hard work and dedication, they've definitely deserved some well-earned R&R. Reporting from Dias Air Force Base, I'm Airman First Class Drake Lehman.
In the headquarters of the United States and Russian Joint Control Commission in Korea, there was a meeting soon after the victory over Japan of officers of the two occupying forces. Japanese troops north of the 38th parallel had surrendered to Russia, while south of the parallel, the Japanese had surrendered to the Americans. The atmosphere was deceptively friendly, considering what was going to happen later in Korea. The United States considered the dividing line along the 38th parallel to be only a temporary military convenience, but the Russians had other ideas. In South Korea, the people turned out in great numbers when the elections were held in 1948. While Russia was setting up a communist regime in North Korea, these South Koreans were forming a constitutional republic and choosing a president. By the middle of 1950, the North Koreans had a fully trained and equipped army. The Russians had seen to that. The day came when it was revealed what had all along been the communist plan, the invasion and seizure of South Korea. The South Koreans fought back for a couple of days, and then their resistance collapsed. 2 days after the invasion began, came President Truman's order that American air and sea forces were to go to the help of South Korea. Aircraft of the United States Far East Air Forces were sent at once to operational bases. From Guam, the B-29s took off for Okinawa, their base for the strike soon to be made against the North Korean invaders. Several F-80 squadrons in Japan were moved to southern Japanese airfields in order to put them within range of targets in Korea. The conflict had hardly begun before our aircraft turned to the big job of keeping the South Koreans from being overrun and crushed at the very outset of hostilities. The North Korean troops were advancing almost unopposed, so our aircraft went to work on them. At first, we put a lot of emphasis on ground support of the badly outnumbered defenders. Within a few days, our F-80s were also going after the enemy's lines of supply. Less than a week after the war started, our airstrikes went well north of the 38th parallel. Our air forces became the only effective offensive weapon we had in this early phase of the war. For weeks, the chief emphasis was on close support of ground forces. Even the B-29s shared in this job, a new one for these big bombers. The rules had to be forgotten if the North Korean army was to be held at all. The versatility of air forces was proved as never before.